Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you something people have been bugging me about for a while now, and that's how to add simple user-level security to your Microsoft Access database. You want to create a little simple logon form, username, password, boom, logs the user in, and then you can control what they have access to, you can track what they've been doing, and so on. That's what we're going to show you how to start in part one, today's video. All right, now this is a developer level video. So what does that mean? That means there's going to be some VBA programming. If you've never done any VBA programming before, don't worry, it's not that hard. Watch this video first, my intro to VBA. It's about 20 minutes long. I'll teach you everything you need to know to get started. You'll need to know what modal and pop-up windows are, mostly modal windows. That's so we can put up a logon form and the user can't click behind it. The big granddaddy function, DLOOKUP. Definitely watch this video if you never used DLOOKUP before. Big, important function. We'll need NZ2 to convert null values to 0 or empty strings. You should know how to write if-then statements. Very important, right? If this, then do that. Otherwise, exit the database if they don't type in the right password, that kind of stuff. And, of course, message box. We're not going to be getting a value from it. Just, pop it in your face and say, wrong password. All right, there's a few other ones, but I'll mention them as we're going along. These are all free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. Go watch these first if you're not familiar with any of this stuff. And also, finally, and probably most importantly, if you have not yet watched my simple security video, go watch this right now. In order for the techniques that I'm going to show you to have any possibility of keeping people out of your database, you need to do some of the things that I mentioned in this video. I'll show you how to hide sensitive objects like hide tables and forms, hide the whole navigation pane, disable the full ribbon, and create an execute-only ACCDE file. If you don't do these things, then you might as well not follow the rest of this video because you got to do this stuff. All right, if you want to lock it down, got to watch this. Now, a disclaimer before we get started. This tutorial is going to show you security that's good enough to keep most users out of your database. All right, you want to keep Pat from over in accounting from getting into the engineering stuff. All right, as long as Pat's not an expert, you don't have any problems. All right, an experienced Access developer, however, will be able to bypass the stuff I'm going to show you in this video. To learn the best possible way to secure your Access database, I recommend my Access Security Seminar, which does cover things in a lot more detail and go over some more bulletproofing that you can do to your Access database. We'll talk more about that toward the end of this video. And of course, if your table data is sensitive, then SQL Server is the best bet for that. But again, we'll talk about that later. All right, today's tutorial is for most of you, small businesses or small department, and you just got, you got a simple database. You want to keep people from messing it up and doing things they're not supposed to do and seeing things they're not supposed to see. But you're not worried about someone, some CIA level hacker getting in there. Okay, I'm going to show you how to lock down your database good enough today. All right, here I am in my Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can download a copy off my website if you want to. And the first thing we're going to do is create a table to store your user information. So create, table design, user ID, that's my auto number. Turn this thing off over here. We don't need that. All right, let's go with username, short text, password, short text. Are there other things we can add? Sure, but we're going to keep it simple for now. All right, save this as my user T, my user table. Primary key, yep, there we go. And for now, I'm just going to add myself. All right, I'll do Richard, password 599CD. Okay, close it, we're good. We've got our simple user table set up. Now we're going to make a logon form. Now, normally when the database starts up, this is our startup form. We're going to make a new form, which is going to be our logon form. We're going to have that be the startup form, and then if they log onto that properly, then we'll open up the main menu. So for now, I'm just going to copy the main menu because it's got most of the attributes that I want. Copy, paste, Control-C, Control-V. We'll call this the logon F. It's log on, by the way, not log in. Log on. And we're good. Hit OK. Now we got a logon form. Let's design this guy. I am going to delete most of the objects off of here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Save a text box and a button. And we can shrink this thing up like so. This will be our username. All right, open up properties. Change the name from current date to username. Get rid of the control source and the format. And copy it and paste it. And now it's the password box. Password. And this will now be called password. And we're going to make an input mask for it called password. Just type in the word password there. Don't know what an input mask is? Go watch my input mask video. I'll put a link down below. All right, let's change the form's caption. Under format, instead of that, we're just going to call it logon. We're going to make this the logon button. All right, we'll call it logon btn. And we're going to copy and paste this because we need a logon and a cancel because we don't want the user to be able to not get out of this, right? If they don't know a password. Well, typing in a wrong password will exit you out, but all right, we'll just call that cancel. And that will be my cancel button. All right, we'll slide these over here, make it look nice. Okay, let's maybe give the form a splash of color. I like purple. I don't know, I've just always made logon forms purple. I don't know why. Okay, now we don't want the user to be able to get around this form, so we're going to make it a modal form. Go to Other, click on the form properties here, go to Other, and then set modal to yes. I don't like using pop-up because pop-up, where it appears, is very unreliable and unpredictable, especially on a multi-monitor system, so I hate pop-up. Pop-up can make forms appear outside of the access window, so I almost never use pop-up, but I do like modal. Modal basically says, you can't click on anything behind me until you close me. And that's handy for a logon form. We are also going to go to the form properties and we are going to disable the control box and the close button. So the user can't just close the form. The only way to close the form is by using your buttons. Okay? And if you follow the tips in my simple security video, they won't be able to go to design view because they can't right click up here and flip to design view. So the only way they can possibly get around this is to close using your buttons. All right, now we're going to set this as the startup form. So close that, go to your file, options, current database, change the display form from main menu to logon form, and hit OK. It says you got to close and reopen the database. That's fine. Couple more modifications while I'm thinking about it. Design view, come back into here. We're going to make the logon button your default button. So go to Other, set default to yes. That means when the user presses enter anywhere on this form in any field, it'll push that button. Cancel, we're going to make the cancel button. Set that to yes. So if they hit escape, it pushes that button. And this is bothering me that they're not even like that. So we're going to just make one more little tweak. Yeah, I know. Okay. How's that? Maybe make the logon button bigger. Okay, good. And you can do those little things in here too. You can do like that. At logon, right? Or at cancel. Just these little tricks that make it nice. Oh, and of course, tab order. Right? We got to fix our tab order. Form design, tab order, auto order. So it starts off on username, password, boom. Okay. All right. I think we're good with that. All right. We're gonna do the cancel buttons code first because that's the easy one. Right click, build event. Now, there's a bunch of code in here from the main menu first. If you copy a form, you're going to get all of its code. All right. Let's delete all of this stuff that we don't need in here. Don't keep it around if you copied a form. We don't need all this stuff here. Get rid of it all. All I need right now is my cancel button click. Okay. What's going to happen when the user clicks on the cancel button? We want to just close the database, right? Simple enough. Quit. That's all you need. Whoops, I just banged it on my mic there. Quit. Okay? Okay. That's me talking with my hands. I just almost knocked my microphone over. It's funny because I'm half Italian and it's like I talk with my hands. Even when I'm doing a class, I'm sitting here talking with my hands. All right. So let's save that. Come back out here. All right. Let's go to the logon form. That's going to pop up when the database starts. Right. See, it's nice. It's modal and it hid the navigation pane for you automatically. All right. If I click cancel, boom, database just shuts down. Easy enough. All right. Cool. Open it up again. All right. Now, I'm right into the logon form. Now I want to go to the navigation pane. So since I haven't made an ACCDE file yet, I can still right click and go to design view. See, that's one of the reasons why you want to give your users ACCDE files, because they won't be able to do that. That's very important. Okay, now we got to write the code for the logon button. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to compare what they typed in these two boxes with the information in our logon table and make sure that they're the same. All right, we're going to look up the username first, make sure it's in the table. If it is, it's going to bring back the user ID. Then we'll use the user ID to get their password out of the table, and then we'll compare that to what they typed in the password box. Easy enough? Okay, here we go. Logon button, build event. Okay. We are going to need two variables. So dim ID as a long and PW as a string. Okay. First, we're going to look up their ID. So ID equals NZ DLOOKUP. What are we looking up? The user ID from the user table where the username equals whatever they typed in to the username field. Okay, now, what's all that extra stuff? Well, DLOOKUP, user ID from the user table where the username equals whatever is in the username field, but that's got to be inside of quotes, and I prefer to use the double quotes. If you don't know about the double quotes in a string, I got a whole separate video on it. I'll put it in the links section down below. I like the double quotes instead of a single quote for a lot of reasons, mostly because last names can contain single quotes and it throws everything off. Whole separate video. Okay. So DLOOKUP is going to return a user ID if it finds that username. If it doesn't, it's going to have a null value. That's where NZ comes in, and that'll make it a 0. So after this command is run, I'll either have a 0 or a number representing their user ID. If it's a 0, that means that user is not found. So if ID equals 0, then message box, user not found, quit. I like to quit instead of giving them multiple tries. It slows them down. Yeah, they got to restart the database again, but if someone's trying to hack, you don't want to give them, make it easy for them, right? If you want to put a counter in here with a little variable and say you got 3 tries, that's up to you. I just say quit the database, let them restart it again. All right, so at this point, we have a valid user ID. The username exists in the user table. Now let's look up the password. Same thing as before, but it's a little simpler this time. Password equals, because we know their user ID now, right? NZ DLOOKUP password from the user table where the user ID equals the ID that I just looked up a minute ago. All right, comma, empty string. So we're looking up the password from the user table where the user ID equals the user ID that we got earlier. This does not have to be inside of quotes. Why? Because it's a number. So I said it's a little easier. You want to use IDs if possible. Looking up strings is a pain. But since password is a string, if the password doesn't exist, we're going to return an empty string. You don't like to deal with nulls. I don't like nulls. All right. Now at this point, we're either going to have a password, whatever's in the table, or no password, which will be an empty string. And that's okay. You can set up users without passwords if you want to. But we're going to compare it to whatever they typed in. So if password is not the same as the password in the table or in the box, whatever, then message box, incorrect. Password. And guess what? Quit. End if. Okay? So they don't have to have a password, but if there is a password in the table, they need to enter it. Now, at this point, you have a valid user. Okay? So what do you want to do with this information? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set either a global variable or something like a temp var with this information so I know who the user is. Global variables are nice because it's a variable that you declare up here in a public module, right? And anybody can use it. The problem with global variables is that if your database error has any kind of an error, global variables get reset. Temp vars do not. Now, I got a whole separate video coming out very soon on temp vars. They're really cool. But for now, just keep in mind that temp vars can store information that's accessible anywhere in the database. You can use them in queries. You can use them in your VB code. They're very, very handy. Okay? So we're going to say temp vars, TEMPVARS, give it a name. Let's call it username, equals username.value. You have to specify value for a text box because temp vars have to be like a string value. They can't be the actual username box itself. It's weird, but that's just how you have to do it. All right. So now whatever was in that username box is going to be stored in a variable called username, temp vars. All right. Now we can do stuff with that anywhere we want. So we're going to do something simple for now. And then in the next video, part 2, we'll do something a little more complicated. For now, I'm going to do command open form, the main menu F. So open the main menu. Okay. And then we're going to close the logon form. So do command.close AC form, comma, me.name. I just always use me.name because it's the name of the current form. You don't have to remember what the name of the current form is. Comma, AC save yes. That's just for me. Your end user won't be able to save the form design, but in case you're doing some work and you forget to save it, it'll save it for you. All right. So it's going to store the username in a temporary variable, right? In the system's memory, basically. Okay. We're going to open the main menu, close the logon form. All right. Save it. Give it a quick debug compile to make sure we don't have any syntax errors. We can close that. Close that. Let's open the database from scratch. You ready? Open it up. There we go. All right. I'll hit logon. Oh, user not found. Okay. Back to scratch. All right. I'll type in Dave. Enter. User not found. Oh, okay. All right. One more time. All right. Type in Richard and 599CD. And I'm in. Okay. Now, one more thing I'm going to show you. And let's use that temp var that we got. Let's set the main menu's box here, right? Let's set that equal to whatever the temp var is. So, design view. Let's go to this forms on load event. That's already something in there. All right. That's my do startup routine. You can ignore that if you want to. That's just some code for me in there. And that basically resizes this window to fit my video player or my video recorder. So you can ignore that. You can poke around there if you want to, but I'm going to delete it. Boop, goodbye. And I'm going to say when this form opens up, main menu label, that's the name of that box, that label, dot caption equals temp vars. Come here, I can't type today. Temp vars username. That's the thing we set earlier. I really can't type today, can I? All right. So main menu label, which is this guy. That's the main menu label. All right. Set its caption property. Instead of main menu, I want to see the user's name in there, right? All right. So close that. Close it. Save changes, yes. Let's restart the database. Open it up. Log in. And there you go. You can see now how I've used that username to know who's on, and I put it in that box. Now the user is securely logged on, and now we can do things in the database with that information. So in the next video, part 2, I'm going to teach you how you can control what forms and reports each particular user can go into and view. If you don't want them in the order form, you keep them out of the order form. You don't want them seeing any of the invoicing reports, keep them out of there. And then in part 3, I'll show you how to make it so that users can only see the records that they've created. So you have a user that has created a particular customer record. He can only go back in and see his customers. I had a platinum member of mine request that because he only wants his sales reps to be able to view that sales rep's customers and not go and look at other sales reps' accounts. Okay? Now, as I mentioned at the top of this video, the techniques that I'm showing you are only good to keep most average users out of your database. An access expert, such as myself, will have no problems bypassing this security. So if you want to learn real access security, check out my access security seminar. I'll show you how to create user and group control so you can set users into different groups. You could have like an accounting group, a manager's group, and so on. Or I'm just going to show you basic user level stuff in this tech help video. All right, we'll also create a detailed system log. We'll be able to see who's got access to what. All right, I cover a lot more detail than what I'm going over in today's video, so check it out. You'll find a link down below. Also, I mentioned earlier, if your data is sensitive, you may want to consider upgrading it to SQL Server. I have an SQL Server online seminar available as well, where I show you how to set up an SQL server on a web platform such as with Winhost, and you also have the benefit of being able to access that data from anywhere across the internet. So it's not just in your office. So check that out too. All right, but there you go. There is your user level security part 1 tech help video for today. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member, and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.